Now we continue our election coverage. Turnout for yesterday's primary was low, according to the Secretary of State's website, with all precincts reporting less than 16% of voters in Ward County cast a ballot. Just over 20% of those eligible statewide voted. Minot State political science professor Jeanette Larshis says the turnout does not bode well for what citizens deal with day to day.
When it says primaries, we're not just picking candidates for those November races, we're also doing a lot of our local elections, and local is what you deal with every day.